Howdy, howdy, it's the morning howdy, morning howdy.
Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of the Morning Howdy. Like every morning, howdy. Fresh. Alright, so today's topic is gonna be the rush. Now, when I say the rush, I mean generally speaking, we all have times in our lives where we take things a little too fast. And as a whole, as a community, as technology is growing, we find ourselves trying to do things faster, more efficiently. But there's doing it as efficiently as possible and then rushing through your things. And the reason I'm coming up with this topic is mainly because of the news I heard recently. And this kind of got my mind flowing. And unfortunately, I'm not going to talk much about it. I'm just going to use it as an example. You know, the death of Kobe Bryant. And what I saw in his previous videos, he said that he used to always wake up in the morning, go to the court, do his workout, bring his kids to school. He'd always he'd always get caught in traffic, right? He did not have enough time to do the things he wanted to do. And he'd find himself being late. He'd find himself, in the mass of traffic, which no one likes to be in traffic. Even when he wakes up early, he still finds himself in traffic. So he comes up with the solution. His solution is, instead of having to drive, he's going to take a helicopter. He has the money for a helicopter. He has money for a pilot. There's a place for him to land. It's Los Angeles. It's a known thing to have a lot of helicopters flying around over there. So he takes the opportunity. He's been doing this for years. It isn't a recent thing. He's been doing it for years. And there's other NBA players who've done it. Kawhi Leonard knew the helicopter captain of that flight. So back to Kobe Bryant. So he started taking the helicopter. He found himself having more time for his family by spending a little bit extra money. So the rush to not drive, right? The rush to get to your next thing as fast as possible to get it done. To rush to get to your family so you can take them to school, to have that family time. Rush place to place, not having to deal with traffic. I'm calling it a rush, right? Because we feel like we're not going fast enough, doing the normal stuff like driving. So it's the rush, it's the need to do something faster, right? It's like taking a test, and the reason you want to do it faster is because you don't want to take the test. You hate taking a test. You hate looking at the paper. You just want to be on your own, sitting, not having to worry anything. So we rush and test. And just like when you rush, you make mistakes. So I'm not saying there was a mistake made during the flight. But what I'm saying is it could have been prevented. And I'm saying it's definitely more likely to get injured driving a car than it is a helicopter by statistics. But the need to rush comes with mistakes. The need to always having to fly. Always having to take that extra risk. Because when you go faster, you have more risk. And the same with flying. You don't want to drive to the other city. You're going to have to fly. It's faster. It's a bigger risk. Flying, you don't get into an accident, everyone's okay. You fall, you get in an accident, you're most likely going to die. So that's the higher risk, and it's higher cost, and that's the rush. And we need to get somewhere fast enough, but we don't have enough time, so we have to utilize what we know and to do things faster, which is to the topic, the rush that we all have. And there's other celebrities. I'm gonna go on the celebrities. I'm gonna keep going on other ways that I've seen the rush happen. There's Paul Walker. We all know Paul Walker likes fast cars, and he has a lot of fast cars. And his kryptonite, guess what, ended up being a fast car. He wanted to drive fast. He was a professional. Compared to me, the dude was a professional driver, and he was just taking a little too fast. I don't know if he was in a rush or having fun or what the case was. I didn't go into deep detail. But the speed, the rush can be a feeling that you have on the inside, like a rush. Ooh, I'm so ready. He might have the rush whenever he was driving fast. Maybe he needed to get somewhere. Why have a fast car? To spend more money so you can get to one place faster than the other? But there's traffic. I'm selling I have a sports car, a Challenger, right? Nothing crazy. But I want to sell it because I can't even go fast. What's the point of having a fast car if we're stuck on the roads? The roads that are given speed limits by the law. We have all these fast cars. The rush to look cooler, the rush to have something you never had, the rush to go faster, to be better, to reach that speed, to reach that alignment of doing something fast. And we all love doing things fast. I can give you a lot of examples. You know, getting your work done fast and doing it efficiently is the greatest thing. But when you make a mistake, you're like, fuck, I shouldn't have done it so fast. And then you have Heath Ledger. I'm gonna put him because he was in a rush, right? And the reason I'm putting him on a rush because his rush was drugs. Heath Ledger, you know, he was a movie actor. He made the money, and now he has all this money, and now he wants to do. He wants to spend it, he wants to party, he wants to have the rush, he wants to have that feeling. When you make money, you're gonna have the rush. When you have more money, you can do things faster. You can get you the clothes you want. You can just go to the mall and get it right then. You don't gotta wait to save up. You start getting on the rush, and then he started taking drugs, and he's like, "Fuck, I need more drugs. I'm not reaching that high." Instead of just letting it kick in, just letting it ride, he overdosed. Heath Ledger overdosed. He was in the rush. He was taking things really fast. He was partying too hard, and when we find ourselves taking time, we don't find ourselves making as many mistakes. We can still make mistakes, but not as many. And so let me give you some other examples of the rush. And generally, I see a lot of it when it comes to work schedules. And a lot of the rush comes from stress, the stress of showing up late. The stress of not being there on time. The stress of failure. Like, fuck, I got late. I got to go on a rush. I have to rush to get there. Instead of just taking the consequences because you're scared of the consequences. Even though, if you had just taken the time to maybe prepare your clothes on the side, drive. So, okay, let me put this in perspective. I wanted to put this near the end of the video, but I'm going to put it now. When we drive slow, it's like we're the first on the road. When we go slow on the road, it's like we're the first ones. It's like there's no one in front of us. It's like the lane is open. Because every time I ever drive slow on the road, it's like I'm the first one out of the speed. Like, yeah, the cars are coming swinging by me, but the straight path I have to go on, the path that I have to focus on is the straight one. It's clear. I don't have to worry about anyone because I'm going slow. I'm taking my time. And when you go on the road, everyone gets to the same place around the same time. You might beat a minute or two beating a light, but generally, from my own statistics of time and getting to one place to another in Houston, you all always generally get there around the same time, if not enough to speed, not enough big difference to have to speed and risk something. So when you're last, it feels like you're first because you don't got to worry about anyone in front of you. When you're in the middle and you're rushing to be first, there's a lot of conflict going on there. There's a lot of problems. But you're the one taking your time. And say you're the last one to take a test. All right? It's because you're taking all these problems, all the problems, and you're taking them slow. You're taking one at a time. Test to driving. Driving is its own test because you have to practice to drive. You have to be ready for the scenario of a car switching into your lane, you having to take another lane. It takes practice to drive efficiently and to keep people in a safe. Just keep yourself safe and others safe when you drive. And it's better. It's easier to do that when you take your time. You don't just rush into the. You check both mirrors. You see someone. You take a minute to look in the light and see how fast that guy's going behind you, by comparing what you see. And you just take your time. What if you just rush and the guy's speeding and he hits you in the back of the tail because you just decided to go too fast in the right lane? This is the rush to go. But we can always be prepared. We can take our times. My favorite animal is a turtle, and I take a lot from the turtle. And the reason, let me give you this. Why does the turtle win the race? Why? Is it because the rabbit was in a rush? Imagine if the rabbit, the one who wasn't in a rush, just took his time, just took the course, didn't think anyone, and just ran his best, did it at his own pace. He would have won. But the rabbit was in a rush, right? He just wanted to get the race over with. He didn't even feel like it was competition. He just rushed to get in. And guess what? The turtle somehow wins. Because the turtle doesn't get distracted. He goes in his own pace. He takes the time to see the path in front of him. So here's an example of why it's It's better not to rush, and not to say to be last. This is just an example, but to take your time. So we've all seen the Looney Tune like speed races, right? And they got all these like goofy characters, and they're doing a speed race. I know everyone's seen something like that. So there's like a bunch of different cars, the Mach 9, and then like the last person is like this goofy guy with his grandpa and a little kid, and they have the most beat up car. And then you got, the Mach 9, you got the speed racer guy, and you got whoever else is in the speed race, right? And you go through the course, and generally, and if it's real life, you know what the course is because you've already went through the course. But this is a death race. This is to see who's going to be first, and there's going to be obstacles in your path, right? The one who wants to be first, the one who's in the rush, he's going to hit the obstacles first. He's going to find those barriers first. And the person behind him is going to see that. But the person who's number 2 wants to be number 1. So number 2 is also more likely to take the same mistakes as 1 because he's going to pass something and be like, oh, I'm first, and then he's going to do the same mistakes. Now, the person who's last, the person who's the last from the beginning, somehow he ends up slowly passing people by. Some people wreck going too fast. Some people hit the obstacles. Some people hit each other. And here's a guy going slow, on his own pace, not getting into trouble, not having to go through any obstacles. Everyone already went through those obstacles. And now he's in a straight line that has nothing to worry about. And just running his best race. And then it gets down to 1 or 2 people, and they're the ones fighting for it. And here's a guy in the back. Yeah, this guy's probably not going to win, but this is what they're trying. What they're showing you is that the 2 people rushing to be first, they both don't end up coming first. They both hit each other. It's a conflict. And the one who was taking the slowest, just like the turtle, was the one who went right through the finish line nice and easy. It's like people who quit, who burn out too quick in a speed run or like a marathon. And they're going to the line, and they had sprinted so early. They were in a rush because they saw the finish line. Instead of just going in the same pace, they sprinted. And once they get that rush lead, right, they start to slow down. They make a mistake. They realize there's still people behind them. And the guy who was running his pace, running at his momentum, he was the one who won. Yeah, it wasn't the guy in last place who came in the first, but it's like it's just an example of how you should take the obstacles, like the race, the competition you're finding yourself in front of you. Okay? And when people with work schedules, like bad ones, some people get stuck because they're contracted. They have to go out in the sea for the oil rig, and they're out for 3 months. You could try, maybe you have a quota, right? You have a quota. But no matter what, at the end of the day, you're still going to get paid the same. So no matter how fast you do it, you're still going to get paid the same. So say you just want to get done with it quick. You just want to do your work so you can have all the free time. Your contract, you're going to get paid the same no matter if you work quick or not. You're working, you're rushing, and you make a mistake. What happens then? That you wanted to rush and just get it over with instead of just taking the extra time. You could lose your job. You could get injured. Say you're rushing, right? You want to be the first one done so you can be the first one to chow hall, right? It's because you get the best buns come out first. And because you're so worried, you're such in a rush, you get injured. Your arm gets caught and your arm gets cut, because you were in a rush. Even though you were going to get the same pay. That to me, that's stress. That no matter how, just as long as you get the work done, no matter how well you do it, you're still going to get paid the same. So why rush? Why rush? Why make the mistake that could cause something worse than your time being wasted? I mean, and then there's a rush when it comes to competition. And back to the story about all the racers in the Looney Tunes show, right? And all the little obstacles. It's the same thing with real life competition. It's like, for an example, football. Football is one of probably the most sport that people get injured in. Like in high school, little league, and even in adults, in the professionals. People get injured more. It's more physical contact, right? There's more things likely to happen. It's besides your ankles being broken. Like you could get your neck, a concussion. You could break a back. You could break your knees. You could break your arm. So many things. And it's just so much likely because it's such a more brutal sport. And the reason why it's the rush is because people want to be the best. People don't want to let the offensive line, make their move. They're just like, I'm going to score right now. Instead of just letting the line do its work. let the pawns move in the structure of, because when you look at a football offensive and defensive coordinations, they're all X's and circles, and they're just like a chess game. Each person gets to a certain person like a chess, a pawn to a pawn. Your offensive line, defensive line. But you have to let it form, just like in a game of chess. You can't just pull the queen out and expect to win. You can't just pull your running back to the side and hope that he's going to score a touchdown. Yeah, it's possible. But it is how much is the rush, though? What is the more likely of getting injured? Say you just run into the line, right, and you have no defenders. You're gonna get stumbled. Instead of letting your defenders hit their marks, where you only have to verse one or two guys instead of the whole offensive line because you decided not to, whatever. You didn't take your time. You didn't let the formation form. I know this. I used to play football. And the biggest thing that I've noticed, I wasn't on the most craziest team, but I always noticed that my teammates always wanted to get the game over with as quick as possible, right? And if we were winning, they didn't want to try any harder. And if they were losing, they felt like they wanted to give up. Because they rushed in the beginning of the game and they didn't get what they wanted. They didn't get what they wanted. And if they did get what they wanted, guess what? Just like the rabbit and the turtle, he realized he's already in the win, so he just goes and relaxes and doesn't have to worry. He's not staying on that same pace. It happens in sports. Football, training for sports. You go too hard. You're in the rush to be the best, to get looked at, and you get injured. You go too hard. It's not the game. It's practice. Yeah, you do practice to prepare for the game, but you got to make sure. It's like doing martial arts, right? It's the same concept. You don't go all out whenever you're sparring. No, you save that for the fight because you can get injured quick. You can get knocked out. And the next thing you know, you can't look out your eye because you decide to hit your sparring partner too hard, and then he wants to hit you back, and it's not even a real fight. It's not. There's no gain from it because you wanted to rush to be the best. You're too in a rush to perfect your skills instead of taking the time to take the baby steps, right? It's like throwing a punch a million times in your lifetime. You might punch and never throw a right punch, right? I mean, you might throw a million punches, but you might not ever have to punch somebody. Right? But you're training, you're on your same pace, you're on your same schedule. So whenever you do punch, you strike true. When you run your pace, you don't rush things, you're playing to your best potential. You're playing true. It's all true. When you plan to go to work in the morning and you schedule yourself, you're going to work true. What I mean by true is that you're not setting yourself up for the rush. You're not setting yourself up for these boundaries to beat the traffic, to rush to put on your clothes, to rush to know what to wear. Unless you prepare, you practice. You go to work every day. You should have it locked down. You go to sleep at this time. You wake up. Your clothes are right there. You're good to go. You have a little extra time to get a donut, right? You prepare. You go on your pace. You stay on the schedule. And once you go in the rush, right? Oh, I'm gonna go party tonight, and then you don't get enough sleep, and then you're in the rush. You're in the rush to have excitement, even though the excitement's going to eventually come to you. And I'm going to go to... Okay, so I said football. People want to be the best. People are prone to get injuries. I've played football. I wanted to be the best. I got injured. I was going too hard in my practices, right? I was going too hard in my lifts, right? I pulled a muscle going too hard, instead of just working my way there. Getting to the point at the right pace, at the right speed, right? Not I'm not like a Super Saiyan, every fight I only get stronger. No, it's not like that. If I get injured, I'm going to get weak. And then, same thing with martial arts. The rush to be the best, people could go out there in the streets and have to have competition, right? They have to go fight someone. Man, someone can pull out a knife on you. It won't be a fight. It's going to be a massacre, the rush to be the best, the rush to end someone off. Say you're like a martial artist and you just want to knock them out quick. You're like, oh, my skills are so superior. I'm gonna go real fast, but you make a mistake. You go too fast. You don't think what he's gonna think. He's I'm gonna do this because he's gonna do this. You have to think. You have to go at a certain pace. Maybe your pace is fast, but you better stay at a fast pace. You better be going in and out. Because once you slow down, that's when you're gonna find opportunity. You can't burn out. If you're gonna keep a pace, you stick to the pace. Maybe go a little bit faster one minute. But if you don't go to the highest you can go, you're gonna burn out. You don't go to the highest potential you can go to at the very beginning because you'll burn out. Everyone knows this. It's like running a mile. You don't sprint the whole way. No, you sprint at the end whenever you use the rest of your reserves for the last moment. You hit the nitro. You don't hit the nitro in the beginning of a race. You know why? Because you don't know what obstacles are in front. You don't know what turns are you going to hit. And you wait till the end. You wait until you find the right position. You take your time and you hit the nitrous. It's all calculated. You're at your own pace. You're riding smooth. You're making sure you're riding the best you can. Not the fastest you can, you know? We can all go fast. We can hit every turn really fast. But can we keep that same thing consistently? No, because that's not our pace. We can't push weight at our maximum every time. No, we have to put ourselves on a schedule of high good repetitions to build the muscle. You're gonna go at a good pace. When you go too hard, you're gonna hurt yourself. So, what can we do to prevent the rush? How can we prevent ourselves from being distressed, getting ourselves hurt, finding ourselves in a deadly situation because I wanted to rush to do something, right? And what I mean by that is like being around the wrong crowd because they're popular. And instead of just being around your friends, you just rush to. You want to be popular, so you'll do the stupidest thing. It's like people who want to go viral, right? There's so many people who try to go viral. They ended up getting viral, but they damn well got hurt. I've seen a lot of things. People trying to get viral. Like the dude, there was a black kid who ran and kicked Arnold Schwarzenegger in the back. He did it to try to get viral. What did that get him? It didn't get him nowhere. It showed him being a little disrespectful little brat. That's it. Only if anything, it ruined his reputation because Arnold Schwarzenegger is a cool guy. He isn't a bitch. He's never done anything wrong. And damn well he's perfected the body. He knows what it's like to put in the work and not go too hard. Because he can't go to the Arnold Classic and expect to win if he's all burnt out. If he can't flex on stage. No. You got to go at a pace. To prevent the rush, you got to be prepared. Try to calculate what's going to happen. If you don't know what's going to happen, take your time. It's like taking a test. How do we do the best in a test? How can we prevent ourselves from rushing in a test? It is by double checking, making sure. Not going to the next question like, oh, I got it. Maybe you're wrong. Why not double check? There's nothing wrong. Or going over what you did. It's like, I always try to put an example to a race, right? But sometimes some things you can't really simulate. So there's a lot of preparations before you do anything. And you have to know your limits. Best thing to do is know your limits. Before you go into a race, know your limits. Know how fast you can run, how long you can run for. What are you capable of doing? You could always be observant of the people around you. Maybe you didn't know a secret and everyone has a calculator and you didn't bring a calculator. And guess what? You could go ask for one. So instead of rushing, you didn't take the time to look around and see everyone's using a calculator and you're the only one not. You're wondering why the test is so hard and it's too late. You already turned in and there's no taking it back. Right? Take time to observe the situation. If you know you're going to wake up in the morning and go to work and you know there's traffic, wake up a little earlier. Prepare your schedule. Have the clothes out ready. Make sure your gas is full for the next day. Because waking up in the morning, that's where we find ourselves rushing because we need to get to somewhere. We need to do something. And, it's preparations. It's critical thinking. It's to be patient. Patience is a big, big thing. Because we all want to be the best. We all want to be the smartest. We all want to be number one. My bad. I need to sip a little coffee. And we'll do anything. We'll do anything to reach our goals. That's the mindset, right? We'll do whatever it takes, even if it hurts us. No, you don't do it until you hurt. You're not supposed to get hurt. You're not supposed to get hurt. You're supposed to be as longitude. It's like being a turtle. I'm coming back to the turtle now. You want to live as long as possible. You don't want to make the mistakes. You take things slow. You look around. You feel danger. You go in your shell. And then you observe. You observe from a safe place. And the safest place is the preparations before you do something serious. Before you go to a race. The safest thing to do is prepare. A big thing about the rush is people giving up. People give up. It's because, they go too fast. and they didn't get what they wanted. They did everything too fast. They didn't take the time. They weren't being patient, and they burn out. They burn out their dreams, their desires, everything they've ever wanted to do. It's because they rushed. They rushed with their girlfriends. They tried, sleeping with them so fast. And because she didn't sleep with you because you wanted to do it so fast, guess what? She doesn't want to be with you because now she thinks you're just a fuckboy. You got to be patient. You can't just give up. I'm not saying you only wanted to be with her because you wanted to fuck. But you were rushing it. You were rushing something that's sentimental to someone else. And you give up. You give up on them because you feel like they don't love you. You're just giving up. You don't give up. You never give up. You got to keep going to where you don't give up. If you go too hard, you have no more energy, you're going to give up. You got to go to a straight pace. You got to go at a nice straight line. Okay? I could be with this channel. I could give up. I could stop doing videos. And, if I would have just did it the next day, some viral dude would have posted about me. I don't know. I'm not really looking to get super viral. I mean, if I do, hey, best, that's a good thing, I guess. Maybe my words of wisdom, if I spit any, are getting out there, and it could possibly help. I feel like my words possibly help someone. I'm not trying to rush anything by doing some stupid stunt. I'm coming in here day to day, just taking my time, the top of my head, talking about the things that I wrote down. I take the time to write a couple notes so I don't get lost and I'm just not sitting in the screen, not saying anything. I want to be consistently talking. I have some notes here. I'm prepared, so I'm not rushing through my skit. I want to make sure I have enough time, enough content to get my message across. If I rush it, people are not going to think I was clear enough. People are maybe not going to understand me. People are going to be like, what the hell is he even talking about? I want to get into these points. I want to really dig deep into the rush, right? And I give you an example of giving up on a relationship. Maybe in a sport. You give up because you didn't make it to your college. The college didn't accept you. You give up. You stop trying. But there's always the NFL. You could always train for 4 years. Get bigger, get stronger, get faster, and go and get it, right? If you rush too hard and you expect too much, you're going to find yourself giving up. Always expect things to be given to you because you worked hard for it. Expect it. Expect hard work. And you're not always supposed to expect gratification, getting everything you want. But if you know you work hard for it and you take your time and be patient, in the back of your head, it's going to work out. Eventually it's going to work out. It's always worked out before. We know this is how humans work. If we really dream of something, we take our time to analyze it, know that we want to be a president. We can't be a president tomorrow. You have to be a certain age, and you have to do a lot of things. You have to even run a campaign. You can't just go on YouTube, rush your statements. Say you even get the chance to be a public speaker. You can't just rush and talk to the people. A 30-minute presentation, and that's it. You're out. No, people want to hear you talk. People want to listen to you. They want to know who you are. And the best thing to do that is just let them look at you. Let them feel you out. Let the words come out slowly. Like for them to let it take in and comprehend, right? You can't give up. And when we rush, I know I'm repeating myself. When we rush, we tend to give up because we're expecting things too fast. We're expecting the win immediately. The win doesn't come immediately. Nothing comes immediately. You could rush to start something, so you can start working on something. You have an idea, yeah. You can rush to start that idea. Start the idea, but once you do the idea, don't rush through the idea. And then you make a mistake. Say your idea is you want to start a business, and you just rush everything. You just don't take the time to get on, and you can't even afford it. After you did all the paperwork, you find out you didn't do enough research. It's not a good location. It's not even a good idea, and you lose your money. It's because you rushed through it. You didn't take the time to be knowledgeable about your surroundings, about the economy, blah blah blah. These are just examples. Okay? So I gave you the visual of driving slow, and when you drive slow on the road, you always see people pass by you. It's like they're in a rush. Why are they? You're going the speed limit, everyone's going right past you, and the lane in front of you is wide open. You can go faster if you want. If something happens, you're able to see it and be able to prepare for it. Because if you're going fast, like I always see on the highways, someone hits their brakes, you're hitting them. There's not enough time to react. Not everyone has this mini car and a truck. If a truck is behind you, they're not going to stop as fast as the mini car is. You're going to hit them. You got to be, don't go on the road knowing that you're just going to go drive fast and be at a higher risk of something happening. And it's not the risk of just driving fast. Is the big thing is when you drive fast, there's just a bigger risk of if you did something happen. More, if you hit somebody, it's going to cause bigger damage. You know, our bodies move at the speed we're driving, right? And when we come to a stop, we keep going. So if we're always prepared, we're always driving at a good pace, we can be prepared for these things. If we're not driving so fast and we do somehow hit someone, it's not going to be that dramatic. It's not going to be life-threatening if we had just, slowed down. We made mistakes, but we don't have to make the biggest mistakes, right? It's okay to make mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. I got a runny nose last night, so I'm not 100%. So, and people just make more mistakes when they rush. People don't get higher scores on tests when they rush. I used to be that guy who always went through my work and did it as fast as possible. I did fairly good, but I could have done better. I could have not been like, oh, I missed that question, I'm so stupid. No, I could have really got a right answer on that test. I already knew it, but maybe I just went too fast and I didn't see a certain numeral symbol or something like a plus minus sign. I didn't see it, so I just put the wrong minus. Just rushing, I make mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes, and I find myself making mistakes just when I rush. And when I see from other people, people who rush, people want to get that satisfaction faster. It's like a little girl, and she wants to start being a woman. And now she's like 15 with the kid. 15 with the kid. You don't even have a high school diploma, and now you have to fend for your kid. How are you going to support your kid? You're too young. You wanted to live life too fast. You were in a rush to have that satisfaction. Right? You want to be a professional boxer, and you get into the ring. You haven't even trained for over a year. What are you expecting? You just got knocked out. You didn't train. You just rushed. You just thought it was going to happen. You just want to get in the ring and whatever happens, happens. No. If you're going to do something, prepare. If you want that satisfaction, know that it's going to come eventually at the right time. People want to make money fast. They do drugs. They rush. They're say, I can't get a job. It's too slow. It's every day. I want to get the money fast. I'm in a rush for the money. They're rushing for them. They need the money. That's what they think. They need the money that bad. They have to rush to do whatever it takes, and they sell drugs. Guess what? That's going to bring you jail time. That's going to hurt the people around you, and you might even OD. People OD for that satisfaction. They rush. They drink too much too fast because they just got to get drunk, right? They got to get that satisfaction as quick as possible, and then they drink too much because they didn't get the satisfaction as fast as they wanted to. It's crazy. It's crazy we're in such a rush. Right? We're in a rush to get like the newest vehicles. And whenever we know we save all our money, we're left with no money. And then the next year they come out with the car that we really wanted. Because we didn't want to wait. And now we have no money, and then say something bad happens. You want to spend all your money on a car, this is all you wanted. Instead of saving up to have a little bit extra after the car, you just spend it all. I see it all the time with people with credit. I see it all the time with credit. People are so in debt with credit because they rush to get things. Right? They're like, oh, I got credit. I'll pay it back. And then the money increases. There's interest. People don't know about interest. That's the mistake. It's that we want things so fast we use credit. We don't wait. We want to get the best meal possible. So, so you spend all your money. And then the next day you have no money, you can't eat. You could have ate for a week, but you spent all your money. And you were just rushing to get the best meal possible. I can give so many examples. It's bad that we rush. Because when we take our time, think about people in the past. Everything took time. And when they took the time, look at the discoveries they took. When they didn't give up, when they knew things had to be taken slow. So you had to work on it. We have great structures. We have great technology. And they didn't rush it. They didn't rush for anything. They took their time. And it's sad that we see deaths because people rush. People are rushing in the streets and they're getting into accidents. People are rushing to be grown men and they're finding themselves in crimes, or they want to be cool to be in a gang. They want to make friends. Like, you'll make friends in time. You don't got to join a gang to make friends. You don't have to sell drugs to make money. You can make a lemonade stand. I could make a lot of money in a lemonade stand, man. I go out there, I just go to a nice park, I make a nice lemonade stand. I'm a classy guy. Who's not going to want a $1 lemonade? I would want a $1 lemonade. Fuck yeah, give me some lemonade. That's some raw shit. You got a lemonade stand, you're 23? Hell yeah. Get that money, boy. Then I'll fucking chug that lemonade and be like, hell yeah, you want another one? On me. Damn, you just made a friend just there, just making a lemonade stand. You made a friend, you made $1, you made your 50 cents off of the lemonade. You know, you're not selling drugs, you're not begging for money, you're doing something. You're quenching someone's thirst. And just an example. We don't gotta rush to make money. We can take our time. The most successful people, the ones with the most money, know how to save the money. The ones who know how to save the money, it's because they don't rush. They don't rush this. Once they get the money, they don't rush. They invest. And investing takes time. Investing isn't a rush. You don't rush to invest. No. That's the first sign of disaster is when you rush in an investment. Yeah, we don't do that. We don't rush. So, you know, so the main message of this video is gonna be: take our time, do our research, let's study, take things a little slower. Be knowledgeable. Use our eyes, use our ears, use our nose. Use everything that we're given efficiently. We can use our brains. We don't have to sit in front of the TV. We're not using our brains. We're just using our ears and eyes. You know what I'm saying? We don't gotta rush to get the most. It's like girls want to they want to be a celebrity, so they'll do stupid things. It's like 8 Mile. The girl fucked some audio studio and. So, because she wanted the highlight, but she wasn't going to get nothing. It's because she was rushing, so she would do whatever it takes. Right? Instead of just taking your time and working on your craft, letting it come when it's supposed to come, here you are selling your body. Girls want money. So the only way they know how to make money is to go to a strip. They feel like that's the only other option. There's always an option. There's always time to prepare. There's always time to think things diligently. You know, and make the best of whatever it is. But yeah. That's going to do it for this video, you know, guys. Let's not rush. Let's take our time. Let's be successful, you know, on the roads. We don't got to speed. We'll get to where we need to get if we just prepare. And I promise you, if you look at a car, right, and you just somehow know he's going to the same place and you let him speed past you, see the difference in time if you go to the same place. Just look at the difference if you're just driving the speed limit and the other guy's just trying to speed. What, a minute difference at most? A minute. And look, a minute could have saved your life, right? Because the dude in front of you hit someone, right? You never know. It's just like the helicopter with Kobe. He didn't know that this helicopter ride was going to be his last, but he was his rush. His rush to get to the next place, and the most efficiently way is for taking a helicopter. It's definitely efficient. It's definitely fast. But if you fall, man, you fall from the helicopter. There's really no surviving it. And it comes with a lot of things that we rush. There's not always an end when we rush on things. It's a dead end. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't continue. When we rush, we hit dead ends. And let's not hit any dead ends. Let's keep everything straight, moving efficiently as possible. You know, stay straight. Stay away from drugs. Know the dangers. You know, be aware. Drink your coffee. Have time to drink your coffee. If you're going to the Starbucks, you're rushing to get a mocha latte. Come on, man. Just make your coffee at home, man. Save a couple extra bucks. You can save money when you don't rush. Not going to having the fast foods all the time, you know? Preparing your meals. You can even be healthier. Oh my God, I can keep going on and on. But that's the main gist of it. I thank you guys for listening and hearing what I had to say about the rush. You know, and I'm just trying to put a positive message out there. That's something that I see a lot of people doing that maybe they could change. Maybe take a viewpoint of what I've been saying, my analogy of the turtle. You know, turtles live a long time. They take things slow. We can be the same way. You know what I'm saying? We can live a long time if we do things right. We don't get in trouble. We stay away from bad things. We do things safely. But yeah, this is the morning howdy, guys. Like and subscribe if you like the video. Thumbs down, bad comment if you hate my guts. I love you either way. But until next time, guys, howdy, howdy.